Welcome to PennyroyalGreen and to and Earl. This is Julie Ann Long's swashbuckling adventure on the high seas, a stowaway, a pirate hunt, and a captain who never loses control, until now. Meet Violet Redmond, beautiful, wealthy, and dying of boredom. Every ballroom in London has already bored her to tears. She wants a life, not another waltz. Her family is the wealthy feuding Redmond clan of PennyroyalGreen, but one Redmond is missing. Her eldest brother Lion vanished a year ago without a trace. At a ball one evening, Violet meets a man unlike any she's encountered, the newly styled Earl of Ardmay, Captain Asher Flint. The Tun whispers one word about him: savage. Flint makes a strange accusation. He believes Violet's younger brother Jonathan is secretly tangled up with the notorious pirate Le Chat. Violet is offended, and immediately, hopelessly curious. Flint's real mission is vengeance. Le Chat murdered the man who raised him, his mentor, his surrogate father. The king has offered him an earldom if he brings the pirate to justice. Born an English bastard and raised on the open sea, Flint has never belonged anywhere fully. Now society calls him my lord, while still flinching at his name. Violet corners Jonathan and demands to know the truth. Jonathan laughs off the accusation completely, too quickly, too easily. Violet doesn't believe him for a second. If her brother won't tell her the truth, Violet decides she'll find it herself, and the fastest way onto a ship bound for pirate waters is to simply not ask permission. Under cover of night, Violet slips aboard Captain Flint's ship and hides herself among the cargo crates, heart pounding, utterly certain this is a wonderful idea. The ship sets sail. Violet stays hidden for as long as she can, which, for a Redmond, turns out to be roughly one day. She's discovered by a young crewman, and word reaches Captain Flint immediately. His fury is instant and entirely justified. A gently bred lady, alone, on a ship bound for pirate waters. Flint hauls Violet up onto the deck in front of the entire crew, demanding to know what possible reason could justify this recklessness. Violet, chin lifted, refuses to be cowed. She tells him the truth. She believes her missing brother Lion may be tangled up with Le Chat, and she will not sit safely at home, while the only man who might find him sails away without her. Flint cannot turn the ship around without losing precious time in his hunt. Furious, outmaneuvered, and completely unwilling to admit it, he allows Violet to stay aboard, under strict conditions. Within a week, Violet has broken every single rule. She's charmed the crew, learned to tie knots, and is, against all odds, becoming rather good at being at sea. Violet and Flint fall into an uneasy rhythm, sharp words during the day, and something quieter, warmer, in the rare moments they are left alone. One evening in the ship's galley, a simple task, peeling potatoes side by side, turns unexpectedly, absurdly charged. Neither of them can explain why. Flint tells Violet, in a rare unguarded moment, about the mentor Le Chat murdered, the closest thing to a father he ever had. Violet listens without a single interruption. Violet, in turn, admits how frightened she's been for Lion, and how tired she is of being underestimated by everyone who's ever loved her. They dock briefly at a port town to resupply. Flint refuses to let Violet go ashore alone, not out of mistrust anymore, but because he's discovered he genuinely can't stand the thought of losing sight of her. In a quiet alley away from the market noise, the tension finally breaks. They kiss, sudden, fierce, and long overdue. Back at sea, dark clouds gather on the horizon, both literally and otherwise. Flint's charts suggest Le Chat's ship is close, very close. A violent storm hits the ship overnight. Waves crash over the deck, ropes snap, and for a few terrifying minutes, Violet is genuinely afraid they might not survive it. Flint finds Violet lashed to the mast, where he ordered her tied for safety. Soaked through and terrified but refusing to scream, he realizes with a jolt exactly how much he cannot lose her. By morning, the storm has passed, and so has any pretense that this is just an arrangement of convenience. Something has shifted between them for good. Then, on the horizon, a ship flying no flag at all. Le Chat has found them first. The two ships close the distance. Cannons are readied. Flint orders Violet below deck, and for the first time since she stowed away, she actually obeys him. As the ships draw alongside each other, a masked figure steps to the pirate ship's rail. Flint raises his pistol, and then the mask comes off. Beneath the mask is not a stranger. It's Lion Redmond, Violet's missing brother, alive, weathered, and very much the infamous Leshat everyone has been hunting. Violet bursts up from below deck the moment she hears his name shouted across the water, disobeying orders for the second time in 1 week. And this time, nobody tries very hard to stop her. Lion explains everything. Framed for a crime he didn't commit, forced to vanish, he built a new life at sea, and became the very legend sent to hunt him down. Flint realizes the man he's hunted for vengeance is not the monster he imagined, and that the real killer of his mentor is someone else entirely, someone who used Leshat's name as a mask. With Lion's help, Flint finally has what he actually needs: the truth and a path to the real man responsible for his mentor's death. Flint and Violet return to English waters, changed people, no longer captor and stowaway, but two people who have seen each other at their most unguarded. But English society is waiting on the docks, and the Redmond daughter returning from months at sea, unchaperoned, aboard a bastard-born Earl's ship, is exactly the kind of scandal the town lives for. Violet's family is overjoyed to have her home, and stunned speechless to learn Lion is alive. Grief and joy collide in one overwhelming reunion. Flint, meanwhile, must face the town on his own terms, not as the savage they whispered about, but as a man who has just solved one of the era's great naval mysteries. Rumors swirl about Violet's reputation. Flint, without hesitation, makes it very clear to anyone listening exactly what he intends to do about that. He proposes plainly, without poetry or performance, just the truth, offered the way he offers everything, steady and completely without pretense. Violet says yes before he even finishes the sentence, because she has never once, in her entire restless life, been so certain of anything. They marry quietly, with the Redmond and Eversea families finally standing together instead of feuding, a small miracle in its own right. Lion, still adjusting to life back on land, stands as witness, equal parts proud and overwhelmed to be present for the sister who never stopped believing he was innocent. Flint accepts his earldom on his own terms, splitting his life between the family estate and the open sea, because some parts of a person were never meant to stay entirely on land. Violet, of course, refuses to be left behind on either side of that life. She takes to captaining small voyages of her own, delighted to discover the sea suits her exactly as well as she suspected. That's I Kissed an Earl, a stowaway, a savage captain, and a missing pirate brother, proof that the wildest penny royal green stories happen far from any ballroom. Subscribe for more.